Hey, welcome to Main Street Sports. Ray Halbrook here with Live Stream STL. Hope you are all having a wonderful afternoon. We are jumping into some softball right now, and we're doing this little virtual today, and I've got to jump on here and get all of my participants real quick. Let me get them right here. We've got here's the fabulous four, we're going to call us right here, guys. So hope you guys are having a good day. And Jeff, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, Ray. How are you doing?
Very, very good. And Jeff, let us know what's going on today.
We've got softball action today, Ray. I
Yeah.
can turn my phone off. Hold on.
Yeah. Number one rule in this is you got to have your phone off or volume down.
Caller, please turn your
Is
phone down.
the caller on the line? Yeah, right. Exactly, right. There you go.
All right, Ray. I am very excited. We've gone through football the last few weeks now, but we're finally getting into a real sport, and that is fall softball for the high school level. And very much looking forward to speaking to these gentlemen today, and we appreciate their time as they're starting to get back into their daily school routines. The first off today, we have now the head coach of the second line right now, Wayne Montgomery, out of your day to speak with us.
Oh, let me get his microphone on here. Go ahead there, Wayne. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I kind of got froze up a little bit there. So no, thanks for having me. I might have missed a question there. I apologize. But glad to be here. Thanks.
We were just thanking you for coming on today and taking some time. And we're going to start off speaking with Kevin Halley. Kevin is coming off a pretty decent season last year for the Lady Lancers. 15-7 record, Class 2 district championship here in our neck of the woods. Lost, I believe, 9 seniors, is it, to graduation? Is that correct?
Yes, 9 seniors and 7 starters.
And 7 starters. So starting with a clean slate, so to speak. On offense, you are led by a quartet of players batting over 400, including A.J. Eggers, Torrey Arriaga, Molly Flanagan, and Lily Ott. And I believe 3 of those now have gone. And you still have A.J. A.J. Eggers led the team in the circle with 11 wins and a 1.96 ERA. But you also got good work from Maggie Key a little bit, and Isabel McAfee. Coach, before we get started, kind of give us a quick review of the 2019 campaign.
It was a group of seniors, 9 that had been with the program all 4 years. All 9 of them had, so it was kind of special because it's very rare that you have a group that large and they stay with you for all those years. But they were able to win 3 out of 4 years. They won a district title, so by the time they got the senior year, it was a lot of good senior leadership in what they were able to show as examples to the rest of the team in what needed to be done as the year went on. So,
yeah, not only in my personal observation, not only great players in that lineup, but as you said, some really good senior veteran leadership on that team.
We had. From both Flanagan sisters to Tori Arriaga and Lily Ott and, the Sarah Kudelik. I'm even forgetting kids. There were so many of them. But, in the Maggie Key and Izzy McAfee, they just didn't get to throw as much as they won as seniors. But they really accepted their role and played a role for us. And when their number was called, they did their job. And I think that set a pretty good example for the underclassmen and what the tone we like to set within our program.
And, of course, those underclassmen learned then that the upperclassmen accepting those roles is sometimes what it really takes for a team to win and succeed. I guess we've got, about 9 days of camp so far or training camp under your belt?
This will be today will be number 9 for us, practice number 9.
So how does it feel to get back to work? Are all the kids as excited as the coaches are?
I think so. It's been weird for us. Our field has taken a beating. Last week we had all that rain, and I think I hit ground balls to the infielders on the first day, and then we took all that rain, and we were inside, we were outside, we're dealing with all the COVID precautions and things like that, trying to stay on them. So it was strange, and then they decided we were going to try to work on it this summer, but they decided to go ahead and redo our infield this week. So I still haven't hit ground balls to our infielders except for day one. So that jamboree on Saturday is going to be a little bit of a test for us defensively, but lots of offense. So hopefully we hit the ball well.
Well, hopefully you'll get a chance to field a lot of grounders and get those reps in. That's for sure. Now, how does your team look overall? Because you lost so many seniors, how do you look in terms of numbers coming up and coming to camp so far? And how's everyone's health?
So far, everyone's really healthy. Knock on wood. We do a lot to kind of manage arm care. We don't throw a whole lot during the week. The pitchers throw a couple times a week. Our pitcher throws a couple times a week and that type of thing. But we're doing what we can to kind of keep everybody healthy. But yeah, we have 7 kids that have played sporadically and in roles here and there and started some games here and there in the past, but are now going to be called upon to be full-time starters. We don't have a whole lot of bench depth. We've got some youth that still has a lot of learning to do. So we don't go real deep. And if somebody gets hurt, it becomes a domino effect where one person leaves the lineup and about 4 others have to be moved around to make it work. But I like the kids. The kids have been working really hard. They have great attitudes about it. And I think we're going to have some kids that might surprise some people this year.
Well, that leads perfectly into my next question. So far, with the limited time you've had on the field, did anybody raise an eyebrow yet that you thought, wow, okay, well, they've really come in and made a big impression over last year, or maybe it's an incoming freshman that you might want to tout a little bit?
Well, after AJ, because she's a returning All-Stater, Sophie Meyer started every game at shortstop for us last year and kind of took a little bit of a backseat to those seniors, but she did a really good job for us last year at short and has made herself more athletic and has improved her game. And I think she's going to be someone that some people will have to take notice of. McKenna Norden, who started a couple of games for us in various spots, will probably be patrolling out in center field. Torrey Ott, who has been hurt the last couple of years. She gets hurt a couple of weeks in, and we're kind of wrapping her in bubble wrap this year, try to get her through her senior year. She was a left-handed slapper for us the last 2 years, and then she talked me into letting her hit right-handed a couple of times in the cage. And we decided after those showings, we moved her back to the right side of the plate when a coach decides that they made a wrong decision a couple of years ago and now they got to fix it. But and then Grace Halfman, one other senior, is going to play a lot in the outfield. And the last senior I've got, Peyton Baker, who started in the center field the last 2 years for us, is moving to first base. So she's working really hard to get better over there. So.
Okay. So, yeah, a lot of interesting manipulation of all the pieces and moving parts for the Lancers this year.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I guess who are you going to look on now that there's been a kind of a void and you don't have as many seniors? Who do you think will emerge this year as some of your team leaders?
I think those first couple of kids I mentioned big time would be, Eggers will remain to be. She's been a team captain the last couple of years. Torrey Ott's a great leader. The 4 seniors, Ott, Baker, Eggers, and Halfman are all great leaders. But I expect to see big things and big growth out of Sophie Meyer this year as a sophomore. Just the work she puts in on a daily basis, I think, rubs off and shows off to her teammates.
Do you think, or have you had a chance to assess any incoming freshmen yet that might be able to make an impact for you right away?
Right now, the incoming freshman class, they've got some growing to do. and they need to develop some time. And we're going to try to play some JV innings here and there. We won't be able to play full JV games, but that's kind of going to be their role this year, to continue to get better, in the hopes that, they can play themselves into a role in future years. But unless something, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of varsity time for any of the incoming freshmen this year.
Well, it'll be really interesting to see this year. There's obviously a lot of change and turnover and shuffle every year in the conference, but I'm going to put you on the spot here, Kevin, and ask you who you think some of your toughest competition in the conference will be this season.
Well, it just may seem like I'm trying to punt this answer a little bit, but we have a really deep conference, in the sense that all 5 large schools have a lot of really talented players. And that's where I'll start with, Hillsborough is always really good, has a lot of players. Perryville's been pretty good the last couple of years. Wayne over at Windsor always has some really good players that can make days interesting. Jeff over at Festus does a really good job with those kids. I'm forgetting another large DeSoto. They have the Grobe kid over at DeSoto is a really good ball player as well. And they always have a couple of kids who can really play. And then, even at Jefferson, a smaller school, the Couture kid makes them a legitimate type of team just with her presence behind the plate and in the lineup. So, and Herky got better. They had a lot of freshmen get a lot of varsity time last year. So, having to play those schools every year is a contest. It makes us battle tested. While we were 15-7, we were 3 and something in the conference last year. So we didn't finish in the top half of the conference even. But I think it made us better just being part of the conference and having to play those games on a weekly basis.
That is a beautiful coach driven answer there. I think you hit on all the teams and hit all the right notes there.
I am not about to try to give anybody sort of bulletin board material at this point. So
I love it. I know you had some thoughts, and we haven't really had a chance to talk to you, Kevin, regarding Misha's ruling last week versus moving fall sports to spring sports, et cetera. And I know you opined a little bit in the comments section tonight on the Coach's Box show. Kenny, from your perspective as a softball coach and being involved in that national organization, give me your opinion on what Misha's doing with granting those rights.
I know what they're trying to do. And they're trying to give opportunities to schools and student athletes that maybe don't get an opportunity, and that's a good thing. I think those opportunities. I wonder what the logistics of something like this could be, because conceivably speaking, there could be 4 different softball seasons during the school year. You'd have the traditional fall season and the traditional spring season if none of those schools move. But if a fall sport moves to that alternative season, you're going to have, they move in there, and then you're playing like a traditional fall season during, it's hard to even explain with the overlapping spring season, but they're 2 different seasons, if you know what I mean. And then if you move to the fall, your spring could move to the later spring. So you could have both alternative softball teams playing in both alternative seasons in the spring and the traditional fall season and the traditional spring season. If you were as confused as I was after saying that, then you're probably on the same page with me. But I wonder what the logistics of this are, not to mention some other things with it, like the peak point of the club volleyball season is February, March, and April. And that's right when they were going to put that alternative fall volleyball season if you go to that. And so kids are having to choose between club volleyball and club and school volleyball. And that's the same thing with if baseball gets moved to that May to July, and softball the same way. Those are peak points for those club seasons and for recruiting and things like that. And it's really putting some kids in a bad spot if they're having to choose between the two. I'm going to keep my opinions to myself at the moment, but I think that I don't know what the long-term play is here with this and how it fits in with what we can do in the fall, especially since they've pushed these dates so further back, with the ability to be able to say, yeah, oh, never mind, we're going to switch and go. Softball team could conceivably play 8-9 games and then say, nah, we're going to go to the alternative season and play in the spring again as well. By the time that date comes up, football could have 3 games in before they decide to go to the other season. So in theory, in the thought process, I think it's a good idea. I wonder in actuality just what kind of a mess this might create. So,
well, I can't disagree with anything you said. Ray, if you would, let's let Wayne pop in real quick on this. He's been listening to what Kevin had to say, and I kind of want to get Wayne's take here.
I just
go ahead.
It definitely is confusing, and like Coach was saying, there are 4 different ways you could play fall sports and stuff. As far as I think I kind of followed what he was saying, but yeah, it is interesting. They pushed that date back to, I think, September 11th for teams to decide. And, for us, like I said, we're going to play 5 games the first weekend. So we could be, 14, 15 games in by September 11th. So, and it's already creating a little bit of problem we play some St. Louis County schools and stuff. And so some of them are still thinking about playing the fall, but they're having to push back games. It's not an ideal situation. I know all the coaches are trying to do what's in the best interest of the kids, as well as the ADs and everything too. And I know that, it does create some, if you move to spring, you do have to contend with summer softball and all that. I know in the state of Illinois, I think they approved for those kids to be able to play both sports. They can play select and for their high school team, but that's a lot of wear and tear on a young body to be doing 2 sports like that at one time. Because I know when, especially in softball, when they start playing tournaments, I mean, they're playing 6 games on a weekend and try to play a high school schedule during the week. It would be quite tedious for them. So, but our hope is to try to get in there in the fall. We're taking as all precautions we can and hope that most of the teams in the area are doing that just to try to make it on the field. That's our goal, and everything we do is to make it on the field. So that's where I'm at.
The side point to that, what I'll add to Wayne real quick is, like you said, we're all taking the same precautions too, but sometimes these things, it happens and it's not even on the field when a lot of this stuff happens, and you could take these precautions and, so there's just a lot to weigh into this. And, and we've told our kids, it's like, what happened like with the Florida Marlins, they had 14 positive cases and played a game, but the Phillies didn't get anything from it. All those cases came from something that happened away from the field, and something as simple as getting it from a brother or sister living in the same house. So you're doing the best you can. And you have to try to manage through, the emotions through that too.
Yeah, you're right.
Go ahead. Well, I was just going to say, all we can do is, as players, coaches, fans, media types, all we can do at this point is continue to plan, yet at the same time, just take one day at a time. The old sports cliche.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kevin, getting back to you just real quick. So you've got a jamboree this Saturday, correct?
Yes, we have a Jefferson coming over here to our place, pending our infield installation, for a 10 a.m. start. Just the 2 of us.
Now, do you have the same restrictions in place that I know Jefferson is doing for their jamborees, where there will be no fans present?
Well, I think what they've done, and I think I've just heard from our athletic directors, I think within the conference it's going to be everybody gets every student athlete gets 4 fans for home games and 2 for away games. And I think they're doing like a pass list type of thing. I don't know exactly how this is. It's still kind of within the last hour I was informed of this type of thing. So but this whole thing, there's a moving target here, and this could change within a week as well, pending Jefferson County, health department guidelines and things like that. So I think that's what I texted Robert Cunley a little bit earlier. I think we're doing the 4 and 2. We have plenty of space at our field, in the outfield. We are, in fact, we are not letting anybody sit behind our dugout or behind our backstop. We're extending out our dugouts to include where our bleachers normally are. If you've ever been to our field, we have a set of bleachers on either side of next to the dugouts on either side of the backstop. And we've made those part of the dugouts to kind of allow kids more space to kind of spread out in those areas. So we're not going to let any fans down in those areas. But we have plenty of room in our outfield area to let people sit, stand, and watch the game. So I'm not sure every field can do that. I'm not sure, Wayne, with the way yours is fenced off and you have turf beyond your fence, if that's something you guys probably have a completely different plan. So
it's something we have considered, I think, just letting people, but unfortunately with the way our setup is, it's not going to make an easy thing to move fans out between innings and the way it's set up. But I think we got a decent amount of room, and we've just put in some common practices, like, parents stay for JV games and then they leave if they for the varsity game and stuff like that. So that's what we've kind of talked about right now, just to, hey, once your kid's done playing, it would be ideal if you would leave, just so we can still maintain social distancing and everything. And we're going to do a scrimmage on Saturday, just inter squad scrimmage, and it's kind of going to be a testing to see how we can do this and how well we can social distance and how much room we can use in the stands and everything. So
ours
work in progress.
Ours was more really to give the players more space. We have smaller dugouts. Wayne, you have much larger dugouts than us, so the ability to do that, and we only have like one gate in and out to the field. So it's a little difficult for us. So we just wanted to find ways to give the kids more ways to kind of spread out and give themselves some room. So, we got fold-up chairs behind the dugout. It looks like some sort of a Bush League 5-year-old thing back there, but the kids are all spread out doing their thing. And the parents have been extremely receptive of it. I think that's what I was really kind of most worried about. They just want their kids to have a chance to participate and play, and I think that's what they're most excited about.
I agree with that too. We've had our kids are really been great about making the minor adjustments and things that we've done to change. And some of them haven't got to sit in the dugout yet during practice. So we relegate some to the bullpen and some behind the dugout and all that stuff too. So we'll be using our bullpen, I think, sometime during the game. But parents and kids have been great, and that's the good thing about it.
Yep.
Well, I tell you what, gentlemen, we are going to take a quick break here, and we are going to thank Kevin Halley. He's got to scoot and get on down the road here, I believe. But thank you for coming in, Kevin. When we come back from the break, we're going to be talking with Wayne Montgomery, the Windsor Owls, to talk about his season right here on the Main Street Sports Show on Livestream STL.
For fine Mexican cuisine,
a family atmosphere,
any place to watch your local sport teams. Come out to La Pechangas.
check out our 4 locations: Arnold, Herculaneum, Crystal City, and Bonter.
Come out to La Pechanga.
Since their inception in 1980, SMCI has always been about high integrity and treating people the way you would want to be treated, just like family. Mostly known as a commercial contractor, SMCI has now decided to give the family treatment to everyone. They are now opening their residential department to the public as Home by SMCI, so everyone can experience the home treatment. Everyone deserves maximum comfort in their very own home. Isn't it time you come home? Contact SMCI at 636-337-4444 or on the web at homebysmci.com.
Where's the game? Where's the game? Where's the game? There's the game. Livestream STL, now available on Roku.
Today's event is brought to you in part by Blue Tiger Media. Whether it's trivia nights, MC duties, DJ services, or commercial voice work, Blue Tiger Media has you covered. Call Jeff Widener today at 314-852-1433 or visit us on Facebook. Blue Tiger Media. You supply the power. We supply the fun.
Guys, I've always wanted to ask you this since you're both pitchers. What's your favorite pitch? It's a fastball? Okay. I know. It's a curveball. No? Okay, well, what's your favorite pitch?
Oh, yeah. Spitball.
The Main Street Sports Show. You never know what we're going to throw at you.
Welcome back to the Main Street Sports Show. We're going to come right back here and do a real quick second segment here, and then we're going to reveal our schedules for tonight for softball and volleyball as I turn the volume down here. And we have a new guest that has jumped on here, and let me get them all together here. And here we go. And I'll open up some microphones there. So, Jeff, let's get that second segment started here, my friend.
Absolutely, and we are pleased to. We apologize. We appreciate your patience, Jeff Montgomery. We couldn't get Kevin Halley at St. Pius to be quiet, and shut up. So, he ran long. But,
is that a surprise?
We've got both the Montgomery brothers now online here, and guys, we're going to go through Windsor stuff real quick at a glance here, and Wayne, you kind of heard how this rolls. So last year, 12-14 record on the season, lost to Hillsborough in the district championship game. By my count, you had also lost about 9 seniors to graduation. Is that correct?
6 seniors. We lost 6. Yeah.
6 seniors. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, Piper Montgomery was a beast behind the plate and at the plate. She finished with a .519 batting average and a .914 sluggage percentage. 6 other players also bad. So pretty, Baho handled most of the pitching duties last year. And both of those players have graduated, so you have to fill some slots there in the circle. Take us through the 2019 campaign real quick there for us, Wayne.
Yeah, we graduated 6 seniors that were a pretty dedicated group. So, of course, anytime you lose some kids, it will hurt you some. We Emma Poronica and Jaden Trice had a great season in the outfield for us, batted with some pretty high averages in 300, 400 range. Delane Mantell and Reagan Poe are 2 pitchers there. Reagan did a good job filling in for us on a couple different occasions and had a nice season for someone that just came out her senior year to play. And then Delane Mantell was one of those kids that as the season progressed, she really got in the zone pitching wise. She was a totally different pitcher the last 3 weeks of the season as she was earlier in the year. She was battling some things early on, and once she got locked in, she had a good season, and she gave us a good opportunity to win districts there. And the other 2 seniors we lost, Alyssa Copeland played some great defense for us at third base, and Jillian Davis was someone who was a good pitch hitter for us and designated hitter from some time to time. So we definitely will miss them. We had some we are returning from last year's team some of our better hitters. Piper Montgomery had a great season last year for us. Kind of a breakout year for her. earning all state honors. And then, Peyton Erwin, our shortstop, we got her back again. So she had a great season last year for us defensively. And Sierra Parker is somebody that really emerged last year as one of the top players in the county, I think, as far as that goes. The kid's got a lot of pop in her bat and a good batting average. So I feel like, our record last year wasn't where we wanted to be, but I think we were a better team than what our record said. We just struggled early on out of the gate and kind of got things going kind of late in the season.
So far, I guess you've had the luxury with your turf field. You've probably been able to get out there and actually have some real practices. I would imagine.
Yeah, we had the one night where the weather was pretty bad. We tried doing a night practice, so we didn't get on the field that night. But other than that, we've been pretty fortunate. So it's we've got a great setup here. When we built this stadium, the Windsor School District they did it right. So it's been a nice feature to have, and I know the kids really appreciate it. And it's nice to host games and tournaments and things like that. So we're really excited about getting the opportunity to get out there every day and practice. So it's a nice thing to have.
Yeah, I think not only the Windsor Owl community and school district and players and fans and coaches appreciate it, but I think all of the county schools appreciate coming up there to play for sure. Coach, how are your numbers looking so far coming into the season, and what is the relative health of your team looking like?
I think we're pretty good for the most part. We've got 24 kids in the program, which is about where we normally are. So we'll have a full JV squad of kids that they came out. So we're able to get usually 6 or 7 new kids every year. So we're definitely excited about that group. And as far as like Coach said, you do try to monitor them a little bit on the throwing and stuff early on in the season, just because some of these kids do play a lot during the summer, but they might practice 1 or 2 nights a week and then play some games on the weekend, to where we're going 5-6 days a week. And so we take some precautions there and take some days off and focus on hitting on some of those days and everything. And you just kind of want to get to the main the first weekend of the season and hopefully keep kids healthy and especially this COVID stuff, keep them safe best you can, while they're with you. That's what we do.
Absolutely. Now, Coach, you mentioned Sierra Parker, and as kind of coming on, and I think she also towards the end of the season kind of broke out as well, and she was my favorite home run call I got to call last year during the district playoffs. So I'll always remember that was a lot of fun. But other than Sierra, who else do you think might and obviously Piper? Who else do you think might really come on and make an impact for you this year?
Yeah, like I said, Sierra and Piper, they're gonna knock in some RBIs and hit some home runs. So we're definitely happy to have them back. But Peyton Erwin is somebody that's has gotten to be more of a leader every year. She's a hard-nosed kid that's going to dive for every ball, and she's one of the best defensive players I've been around. She's got great hands and she's a great defensive player. So we know she's going to contribute there. And at the plate as well. She's someone's got a little speed too on the bases, so it gives us some of that there. Gabby Doing is a senior for us. She is someone that's always been a pretty good hitter. Played second base for us last year. She'll knock in some runs, probably batting the 300 to 400 range. And another senior, we have Haley Lynch. Early on in the season, she wasn't able to get out there as much, but towards the end of the year, she played a little bit more, and she'll be a bright spot in the outfield for us this year. She'll hold it down defensively, and she's been hitting real good in practice. But we also had some juniors that got quite a bit of playing time last year that I hope that emerge and have some good seasons, like Grace Sullen and Riley Siegel. Lacey Pruitt had a real good season her freshman year. Hoping she can come back out for us and do some good things. And Madison Alanis is someone else I know that will contribute to us for us as well. So, and then we got some young freshmen that we're hoping they can do some good things for us. Don't want to talk too much about that. Coach Montgomery, he's got a scouting report out there right now, writing things down. So, but we do have some good freshmen coming up, and Riley Findler and Vaselski and Madison Williams. So, but they'll provide us with some help too as well. I think they can do some good things.
Well, you went through that. Was really wise of you, Coach Wayne, because you heard those questions that I gave Kevin, and you just answered like 3 or 4 of them right there in that one statement. So that was awesome. We need to talk about this though. The fact that you are going to need to fill some spots in the circle for you this year. What's that going to look like as far as some possible names that are going to be competing for starting pitching jobs?
Yeah, we got 3 pitchers on the varsity right now, and we got one's a freshman. She's been pitching pretty well for us. We're looking forward to seeing what she can do. That's Riley Fendler. She's the sister of Peyton Erwin, so it's nice to have that combination there. She's a good athlete, good hitter as well. And then Corinne James, who pitched some JV games for us last year. She's really put a lot of work in this off season. She's doing pretty good for us, and we're hoping that she can contribute quite a bit for us too from the pitching position. And then we also have Justine King, another junior that we know that can go in there and eat up some innings and get the job done as well too. So we do have some options. We'll probably our pitching be by committee a little bit, but I think we've got good enough pitching that can help us win ball games. We're going to score some runs. We got some good at bats, or some good hitters. Hopefully our pitching can help us keep us in some ball games, and we'll get some wins out of them.
It'll certainly be interesting to see these first few weeks of the season and how the things start to shake out, not only in terms of COVID-related stuff, but also in terms of, filling those positions in the lineup for you. So just to make clear, you will not be participating in a jamboree, but you will have a inter-squad game this Saturday, correct?
Yeah, we'll have an inter-squad game on Saturday. Lutheran South is who we normally do a jamboree with, and some of the St. Louis County schools, and unfortunately they're not able to do it right now. So we're just going to do a Brown versus Gold game and kind of see what we're working with there, and give the parents a chance to come out and kind of watch and see the kids prior to the season. Got it.
Well, Coach, I really appreciate you coming on. I have one final question for you. We call this the Ray question. Normally we would ask our interviewers, our guys we have on the show, if they have any unusual hobbies, hidden talents, things like that. What we're going to ask this year, in light of everything that happened with COVID and things being shut down and people being holed up in quarantine, did you do anything new and exciting this summer? Did you focus on something? Did you learn a new hobby? Did you binge a Netflix show? Anything like that?
Oh, I watch some Netflix, that's for sure, as far as that goes. But I think the biggest thing we did is we got a dog. We got a puppy in the family, and that's been entertaining for us and for the kids, and getting to take the dog out for walks and try to teach the dog JoJo some tricks and all that stuff. So it was kind of a fun thing. We got a quarantine puppy. We were one of those people that went out. It seemed like a good time. We were home a lot, and the kids really enjoyed it. So I think that's probably the thing we did that was the most enjoyable out of our break. Added a new addition to the family.
Excellent. Will we be will JoJo be making an appearance at any home games this year?
Well, I don't know. We got turf there by the field, so we don't want to take those chances. That would not bode well. So maybe we'll take her down to Festus down there or something. We might be at those games, but we don't want to get too close to the turf there at Windsor. That's precious.
Very good point, Coach. Coach, we really appreciate it. I don't know if you need to go ahead and leave or not, or if you can stick around while we interview this other Montgomery fella. You can throw some questions at him if you want to. So
yeah, we got to go to practice. We got a 3-mile run, and then we're gonna hike down to the river,
wow,
do some swimming and stuff. And
I didn't know softball girls they ran track and field and cross country.
We do all kinds of things. We're fit enough, so Jeff. Big questions. I'm sure he's he's a good poker player. He likes to try to keep it quiet. I tend to talk too much, so I got to watch what I say as far as that goes. But I know he's got some secret weapons there as far as that goes. And
I'm gonna get Jeff on real quick because I know he's got a scoot too, and I really appreciate you fellas. Jeff, we'll go through real quick. 13-16 overall last season. You fell to Hillsborough in the district tournament. But the good side of everything is you only lost a few players to graduation. You were led on offense by Mackenzie McJunkins, Abby Rickerman, Morgan Green. You only lost Abby Rickerman, I believe, out of that. Hunter Ellsworth and Morgan Green did the lion's share of work in the circle for you. And of all the statistical leaders I just mentioned, yeah, I think you only lost Abby to graduation. So a little maybe younger team last year for you, but how are things looking so far this year for the Festus Tigers?
Jeff, so far looking pretty decent. We graduated 2 last year, Abby Rickerman and Blair Balmer. They were both 2, consummate leaders, showed up, did things right. Our culture last year was outstanding, as far as the kids getting along and really loving each other, and caring about each other. And so hopefully that'll carry over this year. We got 4 seniors this year on the team.
Well, looking forward to that. Anybody come into practice this fall yet, and really kind of raised an eyebrow for you, or thought that that person looked like they've made a significant improvement over last year and might be willing to make a big impact for you?
It's been kind of obviously with COVID, it's been a strange situation. We had a few athletes that played a lot of ball this summer. And then we had a few that played hardly any at all due to COVID. Being the team they were on chose not to play. So I think that in itself can be good and bad. Some kids maybe come in hungry. I do think a lot of our younger players have gotten a lot better. We had 3 or 4 freshmen last year that contributed, and they've all gotten better this summer. They're much stronger this year. They just look more comfortable. And again, another year of maturity is usually a big part of that. But, I would have to say, all of our seniors, I think, have all gotten better. If you want to talk about that at all, as far as coming in and looking, being ready to contribute. Morgan Green last year had a really nice year as a junior. She had 40 RBIs, just a really good, outstanding year offensively, and she really kind of just figured it out. She really became a really superb hitter as far as just squaring the ball up. And Hunter Ellsworth last year was a second-team all-conference as a freshman. She seems to have gotten better defensively and pitching. Her velocity's better with pitching. Paige Perry, another one that seems to look better defensively. She's a good offensive bat, and she's got power. She hit several home runs last year. So those 3 in particular. And Tristan Folk is our only 4-year starter returning. She started as a freshman, and she played on a team back down at Cape this summer, where she has roots, where she moved from when she was younger. And she's a pretty competitive kid, pretty scrappy. And I have to say those 4. And Mackenzie McJunkins is another one that is a vocal kid, and we're really going to need her this year to be a vocal leader on the infield. She played second. Her offense last year was great. She had an injury right at the end. It really kind of set us back. But those 5 in particular. And then we have a cast of some other younger players.
Well, I was really impressed with both Mackenzie and with Morgan Green last year. I think Morgan Green led the team in home runs, didn't she? I believe.
I believe so. She had, I think, 4, and then I think we had 17 as a team last year. And for us, I mean that may have been I think it's the most we've ever hit as a team. And it seems as if the last few years, all around the area of the county, the offensive numbers have really jumped. The kids are. The swings have changed. The athletes have gotten stronger. The bats are maybe a little bit more loaded, but if you got the right backspin and you center, you get a good pitch, it's going to leave the park. And it's definitely not like it was maybe 18, 20 years ago. The game's has opened up a little bit, as far as offense.
Sure. Yeah, just like baseball, we've seen the same evolution in that as well. For good good or bad, either way. You can make a case for both, I'm sure. But
absolutely.
With the loss of Abby Rickerman, obviously that's a big loss for your team. But like I said, everybody else coming back, the players that you just mentioned, like a Mackenzie McJunkins or a Morgan Green, do you really expect those players to fill that leadership void that Abby you're losing with Abby?
Well, I hope so. We're working on that. It's just been a few days. All of our seniors are not really the most talkative people. They're pretty quiet in nature. And so that's something, communication is important. And, on the field, the good teams communicate and the bad, the bad teams don't, so to speak. And so I think if you communicate, the game's so fast. If your catcher and your infielders are communicating, and that's something we've tried to work on already, getting better at. So I don't know where we're going to stand on that, but hopefully we're going to get better at it.
Well, I think, Coach, you've got a pretty good lineup and a pretty good chance to be pretty darn good this season. And we're looking forward to what the Festus Tigers are going to be doing. I'll ask you the same question I asked Wayne as far as this summer. Did you pick up any new hobbies or any new TV shows or get a dog like Wayne did or anything?
We also got a puppy. Yeah, we did as well. And so that's been quite an experience. And then we, with everything being shut down, it's certainly it's changed all of our mindsets and outlooks. We went to parks and got outside and did more stuff outside this summer and in the spring and really kind of just slowed down and just kind of take a look around, and I think if anything, a lot of people got that opportunity, staying away from the big crowds. So I think that's the biggest thing, just having more time together with your family and we had a lot of those kind of days.
Sure. And it's something that as a coach, you normally don't get as much time like that. So you have to really seize the moment and make the best of it for sure. Will the Festus Tigers be participating in any jamborees?
We will. We are, and we will. We're going to go Friday to Seckman. Seckman's going to have theirs on Friday on their campus. They have us and Pacific coming. We play at 3:00 on Friday up there. So Ryan Caston, the AD up there, has talked to Coach Allen, our AD, and I think all the ADs have been it's basically day to day on this. They're constantly trying to – I think they're in the process of trying to strategize on so many different things. But they're talking about having 2 fans per kid and per athlete. So but we are going to go up there on Friday and, see how that looks. And Morgan's got an injury right now, so she won't pitch Friday. So Hunter will probably pitch most of the innings in the jamboree, and then Bailey Probst will pitch a little bit, and Mackenzie McJunkins may pitch a little bit too on Friday. So, so we're trying to prepare for that. We had a little inter squad yesterday, and there was some good and bad with that. Some things we got to work on. So, but yeah, our jamboree will be on Friday at Seckman.
Well, excellent. That's good to hear. And as I spoke with Kevin and Wayne, you're trying to plan, but at the same time, just take one day at a time. And Coach, we really appreciate you being patient and coming on with us today. It's been just a few minutes. We know you have to scoot, so thank you very much. We look very forward to seeing your Festus Tigers during this fall season. And
yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, looking forward to it, Jeff. I appreciate all what you guys do. You got a good show and. Always promoting softball. I think it's I know I say it every year, but it's top to bottom. I think it's maybe the deepest sport in our conference, and people need to get out and check it out. It's we've got some outstanding teams and a lot of really good, talented young players.
I agree 100% with that sentiment, Coach. All right, thank you very much, folks. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come right back, and Ray and I are going to talk about our fall softball schedule.
Thank
right
you, Jeff.
Here on Main Street Sports Show on Livestream
Thank
STL.
Yeah, thanks for being on, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yep, thank you. See you guys.
See ya.
For fine Mexican cuisine.
A family atmosphere.
Any place to watch your local sport teams. Come out to La Pechangas. Check out our 4 locations: Arnold, Herculaneum, Crystal City, and Monterey. Come out to La Pechanga.
This live stream STL has been a huge asset for Jefferson County sports, in my opinion. I mean, getting these athletes the camaraderie that they're out there and people can see them. I mean, to be honest with you, I got a call from a coach yesterday about one of my athletes that said that they saw some of her games on live stream STL.
Awesome.
So, I mean, that right there instilled to me that this is important. You know, this is important for those kids. And so, you know, I think it's great, and I wish you guys the best. You know, and if you're out there and you want to sponsor, this is a great opportunity for you know, kids to support kids of our local kids and get them support and get them acknowledgement out there, because we have a lot of great athletes in this county.
We appreciate that. And at the end of the day, our mission is much the same as your missions, coaches, to help shine a light on these kids and get them exposure and get their name out there and help them. And if they can advance, they're better off, we're better off as a community, and that's why we're here.
I'm about to get teed up. What? I'm talking to them. I'm not talking to you. Are you kidding me? You're throwing me out of a summer league game? I'm not Riley Blair. I'm not going anywhere. He shoot the free throws. Shoot the cops. Join us. Coach's Box, 7 p.m. live from La Pechanga. Tuesday night. See you there.
Since their inception in 1980, SMCI has always been about high integrity and treating people the way you would want to be treated, just like family. Mostly known as a commercial contractor, SMCI has now decided to give the family treatment to everyone. They are now opening their residential department to the public as Home by SMCI, so everyone can experience the home treatment. Everyone deserves maximum comfort in their very own home. Isn't it time you come home? Contact SMCI at 636-337-4444 or on the web at homebysmci.com.
Where's the game? Where's the game? Where's the game? There's the game. Livestream STL, now available on Roku.
We are back here. I was waiting for my microphone to warm up, I guess, here, Jeff. Make sure it was working. So we are going to unleash the beast here, the big schedule reveal here. So strap in. Jeff's perplexed. He's like absolutely ready to go. See, he's giving me signs.
I am ready.
Nice. There it is. So what do you want to start with? You want to start with volleyball or you want to start with softball?
Oh, boy. I think we need to get some conclusion here, some closure on softball. So let's go with softball first.
All right.
The Diamond softball STL live stream Diamond Cast.
Yes, and we'll be.
Notice my My voice is working now, but the words aren't in the right order.
That's okay. Just to let you know, we will be broadcasting from the home dome again, brought to you by SMCI. Give them a call at 636-337-4444. Lawrence Crodinger, one amazing sponsor for us. Great folks over there at their brand new installment of SMCI. The home treatment is what they call that. And we coined the phrase the home dome, the Jeffco Diamondcast home dome, during the baseball season this summer. So I said, hey, why don't we extend that out into the girls softball season too? He said, why not? So that's how this is going to work. So we'll be broadcasting most of our games from the home dome. You'll check it out, and you can't miss it. You'll see this sign. It looks just like this here, the Jeffco Diamondcast home dome. Here are the schedule. Here is the schedule right here. And we're going to start right here with Tuesday, the 8th of September. We're starting off with Festus and Hillsborough, the two big powers.
Right off the bat, that's a big girl matchup there.
That it is.
Two big teams. As I said, I expect the Festus Tigers to be much improved this season. Hunter Ellsworth really impressed me last year. They only lost Abby Rickerman, and they've got a real murderer's row in that lineup as far as power goes, Ray.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
It'd be a really good test for Hillsborough.
Yep. 2 days later, Festus will be trekking over to St. Pius X, which both of those games that we had last season seem to be really competitive, and two great teams that's a friendly rivalry, if you will. Sure. And both coaches very respectful for to each other and both the teams and whatnot, and saw some really great games.
Absolutely, and St. Pius Lancer is very, very excited to see what A.J. Eggers will do in her senior season, not only in the circle, but at the plate for the Lancers.
Yep. Absolutely. We've jumped down about a week and a half later to the 22nd, Tuesday, September 22nd. Jefferson's going to be taking on St. Pius, and that's always a good rivalry as well.
That's always a very good, competitive, fun rivalry. Both of these schools like to play each other. I look at both of these coaches know each other very well, and that's always a fun game regardless.
Absolutely. We move on down to the 24th. We get our first look at Windsor and DeSoto, and both those teams were surprises last year as well on both sides there for Windsor and DeSoto. That game is on the 24th. That's Thursday, September 24th. We'll move on. Oh, go ahead. I'll let you elaborate on it. Go ahead.
It'd be very interesting to see how the pitching works out for both those teams this year. But also, again, very excited to see what Trista Grobe can do for the DeSoto Dragons.
Absolutely. Moving on to the 28th. That is on a Monday, St. Vincent. We take our first look at the Herculaneum Black Cats. So they had kind of a struggling season last season. We're going to see if Coach Breakage over there can turn some things around and see what they bring to the table this season.
Absolutely. We hope to get Coach Breakage, not only Coach Breakage, but maybe Coach Lucas on the show from Hillsborough here soon. They can talk about their teams.
Right. And to tell you real quick, we invited all the coaches that could come. Some are back to school already. Some are in meetings with ADs, still working on the COVID stuff. So we want to be sensitive to that, but we're not picking on anybody or leaving anybody out. So we do our very best to accommodate all the coaches here. Moving on to the other side over here, September 29th. That is on a Tuesday. St. Pius Lancers at the Herculaneum Black Cats.
That big test there for the Black Cats to see what they're made of this year. And I haven't really had a chance to do a lot of research on their lineup this year yet. So, but a home game, and that'll be fun. We haven't had a whole lot of home games for Herculaneum, I believe, in the past. So I think this will be a good chance to see how they do on their home turf.
Absolutely. Now, I've got a change here. It says 10-2. We have to scratch that game because that's a Friday night, and that conflicts with football. I didn't realize that until late this morning. I went back through my schedules again, and I don't know how I missed that. But unfortunately, we're going to miss that St. Pius Lancers Hillsborough game. But I have to keep it quiet right now. There's a chance that game might be streamed some other way. Stay tuned on that.
Oh.
So I'll just leave that like that right now. We'll move on. We'll move on here to October 5th. The Windsor Owls taking on Hillsborough at home. That'll be a good matchup there as well. Both powerhouses there. You'll see some good softball on both sides, I believe.
A matchup of last year's district championship game. Hillsborough was behind a great pitching performance, was able to win that game 4-0, shut out Windsor Owls. So be fun to see how both these teams shake out this year, and if Windsor's going to be able to exact a little revenge on the Hawks.
There you go. There you go. We move on down to the 6th. So we've got 3 games that week: the 5th, the 6th, and the 8th. That's going to be a really busy week there. But we move down to the 6th, where DeSoto will be taking on Jefferson R7. That was a really, really good game last year that we covered and went back and forth. And I believe DeSoto came from behind and won that game, if I remember right.
Well, no, DeSoto came back and tied it, and R7 came back and won the game.
Oh,
but
so
that
saying...
was, of course, the big...
Go ahead.
Right. The Blue Jays won that game, but that was the big game for Catron Couture, the 3-home run game.
Right. Okay. Yeah, DeSoto. I remember that now. Yeah, it's getting the old age here. I'm just it's getting with me here. So the struggles of live streaming. I'll leave it at that. Moving on here to our final game of the season here. That will be the big Montgomery game. They always leave that for last. We covered that last year. It was always fun. Festus and Windsor. That will be on the 8th. That's on a Thursday. How can you elaborate much more on that, since we've had them both on here just now?
It's the battle for the Montgomery Cup.
Yep.
And not only a fun game and rivalry matchup between the two brothers and two teams, but a game that could have serious implications not only in the conference standing, but in the district seeding that time of year. So, very, very important game to finish up with.
Absolutely. We're going to get my papers here set up for volleyball. All the volleyball people are saying probably to us here at Livestream STL, it's about time. But before we go to volleyball, I will say this. We are looking for sponsors. We are looking for a lot of sponsors, and we have hardly anything for softball and volleyball right now. So, if you're interested in sponsoring with us, you want to do anything from one game to we start one game at $50. And if you're interested in doing that, we can do that. We go all the way up to a full season, and that can be another price. So give us a call, 314-852-4398. Or you can also email us. I didn't put it on here, but you can email us over at livestreamstl@outlook.com. So check that out, and you can definitely get in on sponsorship. We don't like to leave the ladies out on coverage. We did a great job did a real good job last season for basketball and for softball. But now we're going to jump into a brand new one where we put together a small schedule, but it's a full season. And I know that we've been actually already schedule-wise have been contacted by a couple other teams. So there's already been an addition to our schedule, and there's a game that's not on there right now, and that game is the 31st of, do I dare say, August. That is like next week, our first volleyball game. So actually, I take that back, about a week and a half from now. So that will be Herculaneum will be hosting Fredericktown, and that's going to be their senior night. They're going to start with senior night real early, so we'll be over there and be covering that. But here's our schedule for Jeffco Spike Time. That's what we're going to call our volleyball coverage this season. We start off with September 15th, and that is on a Tuesday, September 15th. Hillsborough will be taking on DeSoto. And I don't know a whole lot about the volleyball teams, other than about 2 years ago, we covered about 4 or 5 of Hillsborough's games, and they were pretty doggone good back then.
Right, and I confess I don't know much about these teams either, and that's why we hopefully we'll get some of our volleyball coaches on either live over at La Pachangas or virtually, either way, right, and talk about these teams a little bit. Hillsborough's perennially big school, tough team in that conference for sure. That's about all I can tell you on that one.
Absolutely. Moving on to October 1st, Festus at Jefferson, and that is on Tuesday as well. Festus and Jefferson, always a good one there. Jeff, anything you can elaborate, because I know you call games over there for the Blue Jays.
Well, I don't normally call volleyball games, just every once in a while, but I do know from personal experience that both Festus and Jefferson are both going to be very, very good teams this year, and they will both make a run at their respective conference titles.
Great. Awesome. Moving on to October 7th. That is a Wednesday. The Windsor Owls will be taking on the Herculaneum Black Cats at Herculaneum. Anything you want to elaborate on that?
Just that Audrey Mita always does a great job over there with that Herculean Black Cat squad. So I don't know much about what they're going to have this year, but hopefully we'll get her on the show and find out.
Absolutely. Moving on here to the bottom of the page here, Herculaneum at Grandview. Those are always good games at Grandview, and that's on the 12th, Monday, October 12th.
That ought to be a good one at Grandview. There's always a really good crowd show up for Grandview. The whole community comes out, if they're allowed to come out, regardless of social distancing, I guess.
Right.
But they're always big support for their teams over there, and especially their volleyball squad. So that should be a very good, evenly matched game.
Good deal. We love those.
Pardon me, match, not game.
Match, yes, the matches. and I'll tell you this, there's one thing that I do know. They've changed the format. It used to be a best of 3. They're changing it to a best of 5 this season. So you get a little more volleyball action each time each team gets together and dukes it out, if you will. So moving over to the 13th, October 13th, Tuesday. That is the St. Pius Lancers at the Crystal City Hornets. That's going to be kind of a lopsided match, but we wanted to get both teams in. And I'll tell you this, we just ran out of schedules. I put them all together, and we did very as best as we could to not overlap too much. Hopefully, maybe in the next year or so, we'll be able to be at 2 places. We do have 2 outlets this season, but we're actually working on some other things with the schools to help them with possibly streaming in-house. So I'm just kind of giving you the kind of what we're going through right now to try to help accommodate some of the schools and bring live streaming to schools that may not have it or that do, but give them a chance to be able to give back, the parents be able to give back, and they're going to find ways to make up their gate because they're going to be limited because of COVID. So that's kind of what we're doing with that. But so St. Pius at the Crystal City Hornets, that's on the 13th. Moving on to another big matchup, always a good matchup, great rivalry, Festus and Hillsborough on the 15th, and that's on Thursday, October 15th. Great matchup there, Jeff.
Another big girl matchup, as we talked about in the big conference, and another late season game that could have not only conference implications but also district seeding implications. So I'm sure that's going to be a highly competitive contest.
Absolutely. The 20th here, that is on Tuesday, October 20th, Herculaneum at Festus. I picked that one because we wanted to. We haven't done we've only done one game inside Festus's gym, and the story on Festus now that we're back into the home games now, so we're really appreciative of that, and we're able to work alongside of the Festus administration, and we appreciate that a lot. So we're wanting to check out what a volleyball game is going to look like over there, and that was our only scheduled availability. So that's what that's going to look like for the 20th, and then we wrap up at Herculaneum, the Jefferson Blue Jays and Herculaneum Black Cats. Jeff.
Another fun matchup. Anytime Herky and R7 get together, it's always a fun matchup, regardless of the sport.
Yep.
2 coaches, both teams that are both disciples of Karen Bealey over at Festus. And her coaching tree extends out through the county, and both of those coaches certainly spring from that. So that should be a good, exciting match, and hopefully by then there's less restrictions and we can get a full
Sure.
house and really get that gym over there at Herky rocking.
Absolutely, absolutely. Rocking like we had it for Class 3, District 3 basketball last season. That was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
So wrapping up here, we just wanted to let you know, again, we're looking for advertising as well for Jeffco Spike Time. Give us a call, 314-852-4398. If you're big into the volleyball scene and have a business or want to advertise, small, medium, large business, doesn't matter, give us a call, 314-852-4398, or you can also touch base with us at livestreamstl@outlook.com. And don't forget, also, we'll be looking for advertising for Jeffco Friday Night Blitz for football. We open up actually this Friday night. Jeff, you'll be in the booth right next to us, but we'll be covering the Jefferson R7. They're at home taking on Perryville for the Jamboree Friday night, and it looks like there's only going to be a couple of quarters there. Looks like 12 plays from each team each quarter, and we'll be out there getting ourselves back in the saddle for football, and looking to have our second team out there as well to train up and get ready for some big news that we've got coming down the pipe here, hopefully within the next week or so. So I got to keep that hush hush, but we'll let it out when all of the particular parties have everything together, and we can release that as one great big announcement. But you guys are going to be happy about it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So Jeff, final thoughts?
Well, just on the Jamboree, I just wanted to bring up
Sure.
at R7, no fans are allowed, so you can only watch it on the live stream.
Yep.
Because it is the Jamboree, they're limiting people. Not only is it a practice time for the players, an exhibition for the players and the coaches, it's also a practice and exhibition time for the people who work in the booth and the people that like us at live stream that are bringing you the game. So yeah, we're going to get our reps in and get ready for the regular season.
Absolutely, absolutely. And don't forget, Friday night, these games will be on all of these outlets right here: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, the Roku channel, and we're going to talk a lot about that Roku channel here moving forward. They will not be on Instagram because there's Instagram restrictions, but we will be on Twitch and Periscope. So find us all out there at Livestream STL. And again, if you're interested in getting that Roku, this is how you get a hold of it. You can log on to videos.tkdssports.com. Log on there, and there is a fee to use the Roku channel itself, and you'll see that on there as well. You'll be able to scroll through. There's actually a lot of different schools on this particular channel. We have two channels on there now, the Livestream STL channel and the brand new Livestream STL South channel. So if you haven't followed us over there on Livestream STL South, that could be an alternative outlet as well for news and notes and things like that. So check that out, videos.tkdssports.com, if you're interested in that Roku channel. So for all of us here at Livestream STL, Jeff Whitener and myself, we're going to say so long. Jeff, thanks so much for being, even though we're extremely socially distanced here and virtual, I'm sure we'll be back together sometime soon here, and probably, well, I'll see you Friday. Definitely for Friday for football. So
we will see, hopefully, everybody watching Friday, watching some exhibition football, Ray. And we will be back with a new Coaches Box show next week, with a new Main Street Sports show. And we're gearing up for the season. So take care, everybody.
Absolutely. Have a great day.